Buyer's remorse. We've all regretted a purchase here or there, but when it's an expensive SUV and when almost a tenth of all other buyers also regret it, it becomes a big problem. So today we are looking at 9 new SUVs that have the highest rates of reselling and regret after just 1 year of ownership. Starting with, okay, real quick, you gotta pause because if you've ever dreamed of winning a built car, well, this is for you. We're about to launch our very first Ideal Collective car giveaway, and the car, well, it's absolutely insane. Like, plus horsepower insane. And you do not want to miss this. Sign up for free right now in the pinned first comment down below, and you will be the first to know when the giveaway drops. Let's go. The Mercedes-Benz GGC Class. Yes, the beloved G-Wagon. It's got a big, boxy design that goes back decades to iconic military vehicles. It's bred with indestructibility, luxury, and class. But according to IC Car's study, 8.1% of owners couldn't wait to say goodbye just after 365 days. So what gives? Well, here's the thing. While it's great at turning heads, the G-Class is not exactly practical. It's huge, which makes navigating tight city streets and parking lots a nightmare. And let's not forget the fuel economy, or I should say lack thereof. We're talking 17 miles per gallon in the city if you're lucky. And let's be real, the city is the only place people are going to be driving this thing anyways. It's something wealthy folks drive to make sure you know that they're wealthy, but the shine, well, it can wear off. Owners also find that the G-Wagon's flashy appeal doesn't justify its sky-high maintenance and insurance costs. Sure, it's cool to have for Instagram photos, but when the reality of daily driving hits, the G starts to sound like goodbye. Up next is the Porsche Macan. Now, this is a sleek, sporty, compact SUV that promises a best-in-the-world driving experience in a more practical and affordable premium package. But if you were to believe it, about 6.3% of owners found that it wasn't quite what they signed up for and sold it within a year. Now, I'm a huge Porsche guy, as you know. And usually, I would never sell my Porsche after less than a year, but not everyone is a die-hard fan like me, and there are some justified reasons why an average Joe might let his Macan go. First, size. Despite being marketed as an SUV, the Macan could easily feel cramped inside to someone who was expecting a big family hauler. Cargo space, it's limited, and the rear seats are better suited for kids than adults. And then there's the price. Sure, the base model starts at around $62,000, but once you start ticking off Porsche's famously long list of optional extras, you're looking at a much higher price tag. Oh, and don't forget about depreciation, because while Porsches as a whole tend to hold value well, the SUVs, well, they're the weak link. For example, a year-old Macan has lost almost 11% of its value in just 1 year. So it's sporty, yeah, but some owners find themselves wanting more room and fewer headaches. Next, we've got the Mercedes-Benz GLA, which is supposed to be an accessible entry point into the luxury SUV segment, but even with its lower starting price, 8.5% of owners end up saying sayonara after 1 year or less. And like the Macan, one common complaint is the size. The GLA is small, even for a compact SUV, and rear seat passengers feel like they're a little cramped. Plus, the GLA's interior, while yes, well designed, and I think that Mercedes does the best lighting in the interior in the biz, doesn't quite live up to the high expectations of Mercedes luxury. And let's talk about the tech for a sec. While the GLA comes packed with advanced features, many owners find the systems overly complicated and frustrating to use. Add in high insurance and maintenance costs, and suddenly this entry-level luxury feels a little too expensive to justify. The Land Rover Discovery Sport. It is a vehicle that is genuinely tempting on paper, but don't buy it. A gorgeous design inside and out, all-wheel drive, a punchy little turbocharged engine, but this one ranks as one of the worst on this list in terms of rates at which owners try to get rid of it after 1 year. Try 11.8%. Over 1 in 10. And when you dig a little bit deeper, I gotta say, I don't blame these folks. The truth is, Land Rover, Range Rover products have a reputation for being unreliable, with the Discovery in particular receiving frequent complaints about turbo lag and clunky 9-speed transmissions. It's also not quite as comfortable as it looks, with a ride that overcompensates on the stiffness to make the Sport badge seem justified. And while Land Rover markets this SUV as a versatile family hauler, it's not particularly good on cargo space and passenger room, leaving some buyers feel disappointed. But for the others, it's definitely the high maintenance costs and frequent repairs that make them say, never again. Up next, the BMW X3, and this one is interesting because the X3 is historically a very popular BMW product, but recently, A whopping 9% of all new BMW X3 owners have decided it wasn't worth it after just 1 year. One major reason? Well, while the X3 offers a fun driving experience, its firm ride quality isn't what some buyers expect from a luxury SUV. Add to the high costs of ownership, including pricey insurance premiums, and the BMW starts to lose all of its shine. And while the interior is undeniably high quality, I have an X5 and I absolutely love it, although Mercedes does do it better, it doesn't feel quite as spacious as others in its segment. And even those in the cheaper price range, think Hondas and Toyotas, they actually are just as good, if not better. So, for some owners, the X3's sporty edge just isn't enough to outweigh its practical shortcomings. All right, let's shift gears a little bit into the non-luxury SUV of the Nissan Rogue Sport, which markets itself as a more affordable, rugged family crossover. But despite its attractiveness to buyers' wallets, 8.1% of owners couldn't wait to trade it in after a year. One of the biggest letdowns? Well, performance. The Rogue Sport is, well, underwhelming to drive. It's got an underpowered and untorqued 1.5-liter 3-cylinder engine that's connected to a CVT transmission, which the little engine's demerits all that more noticeable. Reliability is another sore spot, with Consumer Reports consistently ranking it low in satisfaction. And while it's smaller than the standard Rogue and could be better for city dwellers, it sacrifices too much in the way of practicality, with cramped seating and a lack of cargo space. It's affordable up front, but for many owners, that initial savings wasn't worth the compromises. Back to Porsche, and this one stings because it was in the running when I got the X5. It is the Porsche Cayenne. Spicy. The brand's larger, more luxurious SUV. Now, despite the incredible performance and premium feel of this first ever SUV nameplate, 8.7% of owners decided it wasn't for them after a year. Why? Well, it's pretty simple. The Cayenne, it's super expensive. I mean, it starts at over $80,000 base, which is definitely up there. And while the Cayenne can be super reliable with good maintenance and upkeep, that maintenance itself is really expensive when you consider this is a premium European vehicle. So sure, it's got plenty of room and great driving dynamics, but many owners realize that its practicality doesn't justify the cost, especially when those maintenance bills start to pile up. Up next, the Range Rover Evoke. This vehicle is even more premium and royal than the Discovery we mentioned earlier, and for all the same reasons, it's on this list. But also like its Land Rover sibling, it's one of the worst on this list because 10.9% of owners, that luxury just wasn't enough to keep them around for more than a year. The biggest complaints? Turbo lag, poor fuel economy, and a stiff ride that makes driving less than enjoyable. Visibility is also an issue, thanks to the Evoke's thick roof pillars and narrow windows. And then there is the tech. Land Rover's dual-screen infotainment system may look cool, but it's often slow and frustrating to use. Combine all that with historically bad reliability and high maintenance costs, and it's easy to see why so many Evoke owners decide to move on. And now, another BMW on this list, the turd. It is the BMW X1, a compact luxury crossover that's supposed to blend practicality with performance, but a large 10.4% of owners weren't impressed after a year and got rid of them. The X1's stiff suspension and firm ride quality are often cited as major drawbacks, especially for those expecting a smooth, luxurious experience. And the interior, well, it's well made, lacks the spaciousness and comfort of larger competitors though, and the price quickly climbs with just a few options. So for many owners, the X1 just feels like it's trying to do way too much and falling short in key areas like comfort and value. So there you have it, 9 SUVs that owners regret buying after just 1 year. And I'm curious, have you ever owned one of these and did you sell it in less than a year? Let us know in the comments below, the good, the bad, the ugly. Also, if you enjoyed the vid, like, subscribe, turn on that notification bell, and check out these Ideal vids over here. I'm Brad, this is Ideal. We'll catch you next week, and promise you one thing, keep living the Ideal lifestyle.